The paradox is stark. In 2025, we can generate a Caravaggio on a laptop, yet we struggle to prove the authenticity of a single painting on a wall. Provenance is the story of the ownership of a painting. A good provenance is like a family tree without missing branches. But for thousands of artworks seized in wartime by the Nazis, especially from Jewish collectors, the tree has been chopped, sliced, falsified, or simply burnt. And pigmentation is the chemistry of colour, one modern molecule in a supposed 17th century canvas, and the case collapses. One pigment, one colour that hadn't been discovered or that there's not very much evidence that it was used at the time, and the case collapses. Yet sometimes the pigment is blamed unfairly. Historians discover a colour that was in circulation earlier than thought, and the painting is vindicated. Things like Naples yellow. At what point was Naples yellow being used in the north, in the Netherlands? The few scholars with a connoisseur's eye, these experts, their colour outweighs the science, or their judgment outweighs the science, and the market listens less to spectroscopy than to a quiet yes or no from Antwerp, Paris, or London. When one Rembrandt is downgraded, as with the Jewish man in a hat, the canvas is unchanged. Only the expert's consensus has shifted, and millions in value vanish with the stroke of a pen. This authority, for good or ill, is concentrated in the hands of a tiny circle, not in laboratories or in auction houses. And into this landscape drops the recent portrait of a lady by Giuseppe Ghirlandaio. I'll show you an example of this here. And it was stolen in 1940 from a Dutch Jewish dealer, Jacques Goudsticker, who meticulously recorded his holdings in a pocket black book before dying in a tragic escape at sea. And this August, journalists spotted the missing portrait hanging above a sofa in a real estate ad for a seaside villa in Mar del Plata, Argentina. The seller, the daughter of Friedrich Kardgin, a close aide to Goering, who fled to Argentina in 1945. But as soon as questions were asked, oddly, the picture vanished. And this is quite extraordinary. When police raided the villa, the wall where the portrait had hung now displayed a horse rug. Interpol and Argentine police are still searching. The advertisement was scrubbed. The daughter changed her Instagram name. Phone calls ended with, "I don't know what painting you're talking about." At this point, of course, providence is broken. Pigments cannot be tested. Expertise is reduced to squinting at estate agent photos. The entire chain of authentication collapses, not because of the canvas itself, but because human actors removed it from view. Artificial intelligence promises salvation. Brushstroke rhythms, comparing underdrawings, even rebuilding lost provenance from digitized archives. Yet AI cannot replace intuition. It cannot weigh the workshop practices of a Venetian studio or sense when a painting is too perfect to be real. At best, it is a tool that amplifies existing expertise. At worst, it adds another layer of ambiguity. What this case illustrates is that the problem of authenticity today is less about the canvas than about control. A Nazi officer once smuggled away a painting. Now his daughter evades journalists, police, and descendants of the original owner. The real power lies not with thieves, but with those who can or will not vouch for a work's legitimacy. We live in an age where authenticity is provisional, contingent, and almost theatrical. Paintings disappear and reappear above sofas, in attics, in estate adverts. Their truth rests not in brushstrokes alone, but in archives, chemical labs, and the whispered judgment of a handful of experts. In the end, authenticity is not a matter of pigments or signatures, but of fragile consensus. And in that consensus, as in the vanished Guirlande, truth itself can disappear at the click of an estate agent's delete button.